Hey y'all, Jesse Petersen here with Let's Make Art. I'm a mixed media artist and I love art journaling and teaching art journaling and all the fun things that come along with art journaling. And today I have a really fun nature-inspired project for you that is using the jelly plate print process. So this is what we're making.
Fun.
It says all good things are wild and free. And yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna do a bunch of layering and we're probably gonna make a mess and we're gonna have fun doing it.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'll go over the supplies that we're gonna need to have handy in order to make this. If you are a subscriber, you may have gotten some of these acrylic paints. You may have gotten one of these. There was an assortment sent out with our subscription box. If you're not a subscriber, you can use whatever paint you have around. This paint is Deco Art acrylic paint, so that will work just fine, and any color that you wanna use is fine. Okay, we'll also be using this jelly printing plate, which is a 3x5, and we're just kind of use it all different around our journal, but you could use a larger one if you have that on hand. We're going to use a Jelly Arts brayer, and we're going to use this polka dot stencil, or sometimes referred to as a punchinella. We're going to need some Yes paste for collaging. We're going to use some graphite paper to trace this image onto our paper and cut it out. And to cut it out, I would recommend an X-Acto knife. We'll also need some paint brushes for some details. You can use a number 2 round brush if you want to get really small details, but I think a round 8 would work just fine as well. You need a pencil for some sketching, a pen for some journaling, and I like to have this palette knife to get the paint out of these smaller pots, and we'll also use it for our collage paste. A nice thing to have around also is some baby wipes to help clean your printing plate and your brayer and maybe your hands if they get a little messy. That's nice to have around. I like to have a spray bottle to keep the printing plate sort of wet. Since I'm teaching, it takes me a little bit longer to get through things, and that kind of helps me out from keeping things from drying out. You'll also want some scrap paper. I guess you could have scrapbook paper too.
You could get custom-made scrapbook paper by the time you're done with it.
I have some cardstock here, a little thicker, and then I also have some just typing paper, but whatever paper you have around, you could even use junk mail or other colors of paper might be fun to print on. So those, and I think, a ruler, if you want to be able to cut the straight edge on the paper, is nice to have. Am I missing anything? Keenan's here with me.
Yep, I'm here.
He's our camera guy and cheering us on.
Supplies needed, a Keenan.
Yes, everyone needs an art cheerleader.
Yes, hype man.
Yes, okay. So those are the supplies. The steps are going to be, we are going to make a background, and we're going to do a couple different things to do that. And then we're going to add our collage elements, and then we'll add a little journaling. So pretty simple. Okay, now I like to have prompts when I'm working in my art journal, and I like to include these prompts when we're doing our tutorial. So this prompt today is nature inspired, of course, and it's called Nature Observation. And it just invites you to try sitting in your favorite place outdoors and observing what's happening around you. You might enjoy trying this a few days in a row and kind of see if there's a pattern or something that's going on in your neighborhood or in your yard or wherever you decide to go. Some ideas to consider recording in your journal include observing what you can hear, smell, and see. Take note of the weather or when the sun sets and rises. Write notes. Sketch, paint, or collage what you experience. So just kind of a fun invitation to be out in nature and observe.
I like that.
Thanks. So I think we are ready to get started. So
Ready to rock.
I'm gonna grab my blank journal. Sometimes I forget to check if it's right side up, and if you want all of your art to be going the same way,
That is a sweet secret pro tip.
We have a Facebook group where lots of people share what they've made, and a few of them have said, oh no, I did it upside down again. So just a friendly reminder to, if you care, to check what side journal, what side is up, you know?
What side is up?
Okay, so I'm gonna make some room now because I got a lot of supplies hanging out here, but I just wanted to be able to show them all.
That should be like a bonus project where you just do art on the front of the book. What side is up? Giant question mark.
Yes. No, I'm using a new jelly plate today because I should have brought my other one. I did. let me grab that really quick. I didn't take care of my jelly plate very well, and I left it out, and then I put it on something when I was moving things at my desk around, and I have a permanent mark on there, which will now come up in my printing, which, I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but I recommend keeping your jelly plate in the little, what is this called? A clamshell, in order to keep it nice. So.
And fresh.
Yes. So it comes with these little plastic sort of protection things that you can keep as well. So we're going to do that. And I am going to, just to protect my surface here, I'm going to put this on a piece of paper while we're working. Like so. All right. Making some room, making some room.
That should be a theme song. For anyone's art desk.
Everybody just needs a big desk.
Just keep cleaning.
Yeah. I'm going to put all that up there so it's in reach for me. And I brought some extra little papers that I've been printing on as well. And so if you have those that you've been printing on and playing with, get those and have those handy because you might want to print back over the top of them with what we're doing here. That could be fun. Okay. Oh, also, there are some other supplies available on our website as well that I'm going to talk about at the end.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I mean, it's fun.
Well,
so that's something to look forward to. Stay tuned for other supplies related to.
Don't just fast forward. You better stick through. I mean, you better create with us.
Yes, I like that, Keaton. Okay. So.
I'm here to deliver hard balls.
I was like, I don't want to forget that. That's a thing over there. All right. So some of you, I love the Facebook group and interacting there because I can kind of see maybe some things that you might be struggling with, some things you're having a good time with. One thing I noticed is that everybody's having some really fun, happy accidents. And I think that happens a lot in printmaking when you're like, well, I didn't know that was going to happen. Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't mean for that to happen. Neat. Or this is not going the way I thought. One of the things I saw that people are struggling with was their brayer. So I'm going to show you the difference between this brayer and this brayer.
Now, they're the same brayer.
Yep, they're exactly the same. Except for what else do you notice, Keenan?
One is much more used.
Yes.
Loved. Excuse me. Much more loved.
Yes, it's
utilized.
more loved, and that is why it's working better. So I will just encourage you to keep using your jelly brayer, and you'll break it in.
Yes.
Now, there are some things that you could do to probably help break it in faster. Or just getting this to roll more. Do you have any ideas, Keenan?
I do actually have 5 ideas.
Whoa, he's thinking about this.
I've been thinking about it for a few minutes.
I asked him like before. I was like, "Is there household things around that people could use? What kind of ideas you got, Keenan?"
Okay, so I have 5 things. One's not so household, but it's useful for this sort of thing. And Pinewood Derby cars. So those are plastic on metal. So similar. This is plastic on plastic, but it's called graphite.
Okay.
It's usually used for locks. But that's a good thing you can get like at the Walmarts. Also, I've fixed a...
Wait, what's it called?
Graphite.
Graphite?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
Like what we call this?
I'll double check.
Graphite paper? It's graphite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I've used it for my locks at my house before when they weren't working properly. Another thing, I've fixed a suitcase before with Pam, where I just sprayed some non-stick spray on the suitcase metal handle thing, and it stopped squeaking and it worked better. I was also thinking you'd use just a simple, common known one is WD-40.
Yes.
Also, if you're feeling crazy, use some butter, because that's just a grease.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? But then my last thought was those rollers pop out pretty easily, and you could pop them out, and other than the edge so that they don't fall out, you can take a fingernail file and you can make a little more space.
Oh, so kind of just sanding off maybe the little extra pieces of plastic that are getting in the way of making that happen.
Yep.
Cool. I like it.
Those are my ideas.
Thank you for sharing that, Keenan.
You're welcome.
Someone else in the group suggested some chapstick. So if you got chapstick, you could try that too.
Oh yeah, that is a good idea.
And these pop out of the slot. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. No,
pry it.
there you go. They pop right out. So you can get that stuff that he suggested and sand
and you
and do.
You don't need a lot. You need like a drop. It's in a small tube. It's graphite lubricant, and it will last a long time.
Even me popping it back in and out like slowed it down a little bit. So just likes the groove of that it's in. Now there you go. Now it's better. Yeah, so that's the difference. But yours will get there. Don't worry. The other tip I have is don't put as much paint on your plate because it'll slide instead of grip and move the way that you want to. But this is all an experiment. When you're learning something new, there are, you know, bumps in the road, but that's okay. And now I've been sitting here talking while this paint is drying, so I'm gonna get going on this. So I'm gonna use a couple of the different paints that we have so you guys can see maybe whatever paint that you have in your box to be used, which may change the outcome of this, but that is okay. Because I just want you to see your paint and how it's gonna look. All right, so I'm gonna use my brayer. And you can see it that it's sliding instead of rolling. So I either have too much paint or I'm not, even with this good brayer. So some of you even said, well, I like seeing Jesse struggle because I know I'm not crazy. It's okay. It's okay. This takes some practice.
It brings a slight comfort for sure.
Yeah. There we go. But what you want is a smooth painting surface, and we're going to get that even if we struggle a little bit to get it. All right, so I'm going to put the punchinella down first, and I'm going to do a couple practice pages. We'll play around with this and then we'll keep going. Man, I really like this. This is green. This is nice. I'm just going to roll off the green that I have on my brayer. I'm going to get another sheet here. Just going to use my regular typing paper because I want you to see what happens when you just put this on top of that. Because you remember when we did the paint, might not be, okay. The feather, we had the two different versions of the feather. We had the negative space feather.
Totally.
And then we had the feather that showed the texture of the feather.
Yep.
And that was a two-step process. This is the same way. So we are getting our dots one way, and then we're gonna get our dots in the reverse way. And I'm just massaging this paper into the paint. Okay, we're ready to peel and reveal.
Peel and reveal.
Isn't that fun?
That is fun to say.
There we go. So we got dots like that, all right?
Nice.
Now we're gonna take this off and we'll get dots the other way. Maybe. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. This is always a surprise when you do the peel and reveal.
It's got a mind of its own.
Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, so do you see the difference?
That's nice.
Like dots and then the negative reverse of the dot sort of thing. And you can see where these ones are filled in because it didn't pull off on
You
this.
actually want to scoot that farthest one out in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see where this part didn't pick up that first time around. It left it there and you get both. So I should have pressed down more, but I kind of like it when it's not perfect. So
I do
too.
Gives you more of a variance.
Yeah, so depending on the type of dot that you want, so this one is doing it the first time, and then this area right here is doing it the second time. Make sense?
Totally.
All right. So, got some practice in. Now let's do the real deal. And I'm going to just show you that you can wipe off your plate. Now, I like to leave the remnants behind because I think it's kind of fun for it to show up. But I just want to demonstrate how easy it is to clean this, just with a baby wipe. Now, if you don't have baby wipes, you can totally use a damp paper towel. You just want to be able to just get it wet enough to get that paint off. So.
If you're too lazy to find a damp paper towel, just use your hand several times. An arm.
I don't know if that will work.
What about a pant leg?
If it was damp, maybe. All right, so let's do yellow. Or no, actually let's do just a passive green. So we did that lighter green for those of you that got that one. Let's see. And maybe I didn't like put my paint pot all the way down and I got a little dried paint on the top. So you want to make sure you really press these paint pots closed when you're.
Little stubborn pot lids.
Yeah, when you're working. And this paint was just to get you started. You know, you can get more paint and just keep on going.
I think think you mentioned last time you used the brayer, but will that acrylic paint build up, and then you can peel it off?
Yeah, and I find it really satisfying to peel it off.
Nice.
So yeah, if you don't get all the paint off your brayer, it's no big deal. But I'll show you that you can get some of it off with your baby wipe as well. Thanks for saying that, Keenan.
You're welcome. Maybe that could be a satisfying bonus video. Or just
I just never know when it's going to be ready.
Right. Well, when it is, we could be like, oh, time to film it.
Oh, here it is.
Bonus surprise, here you go.
Some people actually like keep their acrylic paint peels that are in their palette and then like put them back in their abstract paintings and stuff, which is kind of fun.
That's a good idea.
They call them like paint skins. Kind of cool. All right. You know I like to be messy, so I'm not really concerned about how perfectly clean this is.
Yeah.
But it's pretty darn clean, so. All right. So just get this paint on there as best as you can. Use our brayer. Now, one fun thing you can do to kind of change the texture of what's happening here is just spray it with water. Right? Sometimes it will bead up, and sometimes it will kind of separate that paint a little bit. We'll see. Let's do a little practice. Oh, it slid around. It was so wet.
Could be cool, though.
It could be cool. We'll see what happens.
Odds are it's going to be cool.
Odds are. Peel and reveal. Got a little slidey on me. But just that little bit of wet kind of did that. Now, what I'm interested in is seeing the second one.
Oh, because there's going to be less water there.
Yeah.
Huh?
So I just want some green paint on my page. Right side up. So I'm thinking just,
It's funny, you said right side up and then immediately made it upside down.
yeah, for some reason, it was just easier to get those right this side of the page. Peel and reveal. I'm getting a little bit of texture there, so that could be nice. Okay.
I like that.
Thanks.
That's a fun green color.
Yeah. So that's green in the one that has the lighter purple, if you have that one. Now I'll mix some of the green from the primary set and show you what that green looks like. Because I know if you got the primary set, you might not have been able to mix the exact purple that we have in the other ones, but it was just to get you started. You know, it's all good. Okay, just wiping that off. Okay, I was gonna mix green for you. Bring this over here for a second while that's drying. Make sure that the paint on me is either dry or off so it doesn't transfer to surfaces we don't want it to be in. Now we have a darker green here, and this paint tends to settle a little bit, so I like to stir it up. But I'm going to get my white out before I stir it up. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Can you see this okay?
Yep, do you actually want to push it up a little bit more so we can see it even better?
I like that.
Perfect, thank you.
I'm into that. All right, I'm just gonna put this extra paint on my plate because why not? I don't want to waste it. Baby wipes. But I want to keep my paint pot clean, so I'm gonna make sure I get all the green off of this before I put my white down. Okay, so here's our white. Now when you're mixing a lighter color, you always want to start with the white and then add the darker color a little bit at a time. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of white trying to get to that lighter color. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Because if you try to add white to a dark color, it's not going to change it a lot, you know? But if you add just a little of the dark to the light, then you're going to get your light color quicker. So I didn't put a lot of green in there just yet. And I already have a nice light green. Do you see that sort of a minty
That's
green?
A tasty color.
Yeah, so you can get some good greens with this primary set. Now, if you want it to be just a little bit more like this, there's a little bit more yellow in that green. We can add a little yellow. not a lot of yellow, just a titch.
Just a titch.
And that's still a pretty light green. So we can add a little more green to that, or we could add a titch of blue to get it to be a more blue-green. I'm just gonna put a little bit more green in there. Color mixing is so fun. I love it so much.
My favorite thing, I've really only mixed with watercolors, but my favorite colors to mix are blue and green because they make such a vibrant color together.
Yeah, they do.
Ugh.
And then add a little bit more yellow. So you can get a good green with this primary set. And that's kind of the green you'll get doing that. You could probably add more green if you want it. I'm just gonna put this green on there. We got the darker green on there. Just for one fun little bit of texture. And these will mix on the plate too. Let's see what we can get with that. We're just having fun. So now we have kind of a little bit of ombre green going on. And so a lot of my background is sort of like that. But I want to show you this technique next, and I just did a really loose thing here. But I'm just going to take the back of my paintbrush, and I'm just going to draw in some leafy sort of shapes, just kind of loose. Yeah, just a hint of leaves. Just, you know, having fun. In that ombre sort of shape. And you can get really detailed if you want, or you can just kind of let it be this sort of ambiguous,
you could
loose.
probably use a really fine, like a pen tip almost, or a pencil.
Yeah, you can take your mechanical pencil, put the lead down, and get some other
cool
shapes in there. I kind of want it to be sort of just loose, not taken away from my composition a lot, so I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to put it right in there. Because we're going to layer over this. It's going to be all good. Let's see our reveal. Yeah. There we go. It's cool. Okay.
That is satisfying to look at. The ombre makes it even cooler, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was mixing green, so you can get a good green. Don't worry. I like making green. I taught my daughters about color mixing with the Ziploc bag that's like yellow and blue, and you know it's sealed when it's green, so that they can understand when we mix the colors that two different colors go together. All right. Now, you can kind of paint in some textures around this and then start layering the yellow if you want. I think that might be fun. And I forgot to bring water in here, but I'm just gonna use my spray bottle on my palette. It's gonna be fine. I might need water in a minute to be able to wash my brush, but I'm just gonna keep going right now with what I've got. But it would be good to have. I forgot to get a jar of water last time.
Well, we are professionals, so we have a sink nearby, and I can go get you a jar of water.
Thank you. So if you want to paint in some texture and some green, I just want to use this paint on my palette that I use to mix before it dries up, so you can do that. And this sort of thing comes out different every time. All right. And then I'll need to wash my brush here in a second so I can get other colors going on. Oh yeah, that paint dried fast because it was really flat on there.
Thin?
Yeah.
Flat and thin?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Actually, will you bring that a little to your right? There you go. Put it on that paper. Yeah. Nice. I'll get you some water.
Thank you. I'm gonna just make it do with what I got here for a second. All right. So yeah, it's fun to kind of paint back into that layer as well. So, you know, we're just getting this paint that we have going on our page here. Thanks, Keenan.
You're welcome.
Got some paint water.
Nice. Nice. Those are fun.
What's that?
Your pages.
Oh. Just using up the paint we had over there and added a little bit more of that lighter green from that other palette. Okay. And we're just using it thin, it kind of dries quickly too.
Do you kind of look for blank pages or blank spots, or do you look for things that you just want to fill? Like, what's your plan when you're looking at those pages?
Well, the first time I made this, I was actually looking at foliage outside and kind of the dark and the light. And I kind of was just kind of picked a spot and sort of just pulled from that. Now I'm copying what I did before.
Nice.
But I was observing nature.
That's cool.
So, okay, let's do a yellow print next. I think that will be fun. Most of the yellow in all three of these paints is very similar. So I'm going to use yellow, and it'll probably be the same for all three variations of paint pods. It's just kind of a nice warm golden yellow that we're using here.
Like if you're at a beach and the sun is setting.
Yeah. So see, that yellow is pretty similar, and so is that. All right, let's get this.
Fun fact, I don't like beaches.
What? Is it the sand?
It's the sand. It's gross. I'm okay with dirt and mud, but I can't handle sand.
I don't mind it. But I know what you mean.
Yeah. I like the idea of the beach. If I could just get away from the sand, it'd be perfect.
You like the water, but not the sand?
I like the water. I'm terrified of the water, but I like the water.
Terrified? Really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, that is another fun fact. Do not like lakes. Oceans, sure, because the waves will just throw you around, but lakes, terrified.
Just cleaning my brayer. Lakes because of the creatures that are in there, or?
I almost drowned when I was 3.
Oh my gosh.
I fell off of a dock and I couldn't reach the safety rope, and my brother had to dive in for me.
Oh my gosh, lucky your brother was around.
I remember the whole thing, and it's never really left.
Well, yeah, that sort of thing doesn't leave you.
Yeah, it just takes me a few days to warm up if I go to a lake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Now I just really appreciate life jackets.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a great swimmer. And I let my I encouraged my husband to teach my kids so they wouldn't inherit my nervousness about the water.
Nice.
And he's a great swimmer and he really enjoys the water. His favorite place to go observe nature and be near water is Lake Powell in Utah. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been.
I've never been there.
Everybody should go to Lake Powell at least once because it's all the red rock with water.
Oh, it's beautiful there.
Is really cool. Okay, let's see. Just make sure this is clean-ish. It's clean enough. I mean, we're going to be printing evergreen anyway. Okay. I liked how encouraging our friends in the group are. Somebody was like, I think it was Marcy Clark actually, she was like, me, 0, brayer, 2. I love that. And other people are like, you got this, don't give up. So if you're struggling with a brayer still, don't give up. You got this, you can do it. I saw Katie encouraging in there in the Facebook group, and I sure appreciate all of our art cheerleaders.
Jesse, you're the art cheerleader.
Yes, I'm an art cheerleader.
Yeah.
I like to be cheered too, though.
Who doesn't?
Right? Okay. So I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to... Is this dry enough? Yeah, it is. That's another thing, because you're thinning out the paint so much, it dries pretty quickly, whereas when you're globbing it on, it's a little thicker.
Nice.
So I kind of think I want the yellow to be like right here. So I'm going to think about that as I'm putting it down. Should I move this over a little bit?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, sometimes I have to really think about this. Okay, so if I want it here, that's where I want to put my plate.
Yep, just right there. Inside.
I'm right there.
Perfect.
See, it's okay to leave a spot if you're just going for a certain place. So I left that other spot there, not printing it. Peel and reveal. Woo, we got it. Pretty cool.
Nice.
All right. So that's the dot more dots one.
Dot more dots.
More, I don't know what I'm saying.
Inverted?
Thanks, Keenan. Yeah.
Inverted.
And then I think I want to put this one more like this. So you can move it around. And see, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that paint, but I'm still going to have more paint on my...
That's a cool idea.
So we got a little crossway that way. Now we can put some... You know what might be fun?
You could almost make letters with what you pick up with the book.
Oh yeah, you could do shapes for sure, like putting them in different spots.
Tetris. You could do a Tetris page, a nature versus Tetris.
I like it.
That'd
I like
be
it.
Sweet.
I'm gonna add a little bit of white to my yellow because I think that's what I did on this one.
Can you bring your palette down a little bit?
Yeah.
Or angled, that works. Yeah, so we can see your mixing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna... What was I thinking I was gonna do?
I'm not sure. I was really excited to see what you're doing.
Well, I can... Yeah, maybe I'll just do a little...
Yeah. Ooh, you got a two-tone yellow there. That's
yeah, why
gonna be
not?
Pretty.
We're getting crazy. I didn't plan that.
It's gonna be awesome.
So we got some dots and then something else going on here. Yeah, all right.
Nice.
I think that might be nice at the bottom. So I'm gonna turn it. This way. And then picked up a little bit of what I mixed, but then I'm still getting some of this other. Yeah, I like that because we got a little bit of solid and then it kind of breaks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Okay, and then if you want to just clean your plate off, you can just put it on some scrapbook paper. I used to design scrapbook paper, okay? And whenever I say scrap paper, I just want to say scrapbook.
Scrapbook paper.
Oh my goodness.
Scrapbook edit. Scrap paper.
Okay, so I didn't pull it all up. I still got some residual on there that's dry. And you can do another, I'm gonna show you this and it may or may not work, but if you have paint that's dry on there and you wanna lift it up, you can put more white paint or more any paint that you want on there and it will lift the dried paint that's there before. Some people do this purposefully where they'll do a design, leave it dry, and then put another layer of paint on it to get a different design. So just for fun, we're gonna try it. It may work, it may not.
I'm excited.
We'll just see.
It'll work in my book.
This is a longer tutorial because we're just playing and we're layering. So I'm not trying to be in a hurry. I'm just trying to show you all the cool things. All right. Let me see if my brayer's clean. Just try to get some of this yellow off.
What if you have one brayer you never clean, and then another brayer you always meticulously clean?
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Because that brayer that's never been cleaned will have cool texture.
Yes. And you go through quite a few of these baby wipes, don't you? Especially if you're getting paint on your surface, which I did. But that's all right. I think that white paint was there before. We're fine. Okay. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
right.
It was there before.
Okay, so I'm just going over the design I had before with white. And it may mix whatever I had that was yellow there before, but it will hopefully stick to the paint that's dry. And we can lift again. Might just see what happens if we do it again right here. And it lifted some of those dots.
Nice.
So see how that lifted off?
Dang, that's cool.
Kind of neat. Okay, so let's get the rest of that. It's kind of hard to tell because it's white and yellow, but if you do a really contrasting color, you'll be able to see that more. So see, the dried up dots came off.
Yeah.
Isn't that neat? Printmaking is so fun.
Dang, that is cool. And it made it easier for you to clean it, I feel like.
Yes. So you can get creative when you don't want your plate to be that color anymore anyway, and just experiment. So, and I think it will be fun to kind of blend this a little more. So I'm just going to grab some of that color paint, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of that in there so I don't have such a hard edge. But I'm still liking that. And now that I have paint on my brush, you know, I might as well just get some more yellow in some spots just for fun. I'm a big not wanting to waste paint person, so then I just like making a mess and using up what I got and just have a good time.
Nice. Do you actually want to pull your journal up a little higher?
I would love to do that.
Thank you.
Now this looks a little different than our other one, but that's kind of the nature of printmaking, and I showed you some things that I didn't do on the other one. It's all good.
I think that's also where a little bit more inspiration comes from.
What do you mean?
You can't do everything the same way exactly every time. And then the next page, when you turn to your next page, you're going to be like, oh, I actually liked how this went. So let's try that again. And you're going to get something different again.
Yeah.
So I think it just sparks more creativity.
And if you really want to be able to recreate stuff, you can take notes on what you did. That will help. Certainly helps me.
Yeah.
And just have fun. Don't feel like you have to recreate everything exactly as I'm doing it. Just have fun in the moment and seeing what there is to work with on the page that you have and kind of adding along to that in the process. It's just so fun.
The beauty of nature is that there's always some constants. But then one of my favorite things about nature are the clouds.
Oh yeah.
Because you never see a cloud that looks like Simba again.
It's true. All right, I kind of mixed some of my other paint in that paint pot, but that's all right. It's fine. Just wanted to soften that up a little bit. Soften that edge up. I like that pattern though, so I don't want to lose it. I could just play and paint like this all day long. It's just so fun.
It is fun. This would be a fun time lapse too.
Oh yeah.
To watch the paper change.
Okay, I might need just a few minutes for that to dry. So we'll let that dry and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, thanks to Keenan, this is dry. He just hit it with the heat gun for a minute.
Oh, I was blowing on it the whole time.
He's full of hot air. Is that what you're saying? I didn't know you would say that about yourself. Oh, Keenan is great. Thank you so much. Okay, so we got that. And I think it might be fun for us to do this little bit of lettering right here that I did on this one. And I learned this technique from Nicole. I'm going to try really hard not to get my head in the way. Will you tell me if this is a good spot for me to work in?
Yes, I will. It is not.
Okay, where should I put it?
Farther to your right.
To my right. Okay, that means I got to move some of the stuff out of the way.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to take the time to do this lettering and you got paint pods open, I would just encourage you to close them so they don't dry out. Okay, how about that? Is that a good spot?
Yep. And then if your head's on the old right side of your body, other right, there you go. Yep.
Okay.
As uncomfortably as you can sit, that's when it's perfect.
Okay, so I'm just going to sketch out first. Oh. Y'all, I get nervous when I like a piece and it's going well and I go to do another detail. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to mess this up. This happens to me. So if it happens to you, just work through it. It's fine. It happens to all of us.
3 deep breaths. If you get one letter correct, take a break.
Yeah.
There's never too many snacks to not take a break.
Yeah. Keenan says that while he's eating brownies over there.
I've got a pan full of brownies right next to me.
Breakfast of champions.
That's right.
I just want my head in there.
I noticed.
Is it in the way? I'm sorry.
It's a little in the way. All right, I'll be honest, it's a lot in the way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's okay. We know you're focused. Nice.
Okay, so that's a basic skeleton letter. Might need to move this over just a little bit closer. And then I learned this from Nicole, who's our lettering artist. We have lots of tutorials that she does lettering on, and it can totally improve your art journaling, so go check those out. She taught me that, so that's like the wire inside, and then you kind of go around that space, the skeleton thing, right?
You gotta put meat on the bones now.
So I'm gonna sketch around the outside and the inside to get that shape. And this A kind of goes like that. I don't know. I'll fix that in a minute. And then you can erase your other stuff. Okay.
That looks good.
Thank you. Art cheerleader. Everybody needs one, especially when you're nervous.
If you just need like a recording of me being like, holy cow, that looks awesome, you just let me know.
I would love it if you made a GIF, or GIF. Which one is it? Now
It's both.
Like, wait, did I say that
No
wrong?
one's wrong. Everyone's right.
I always question myself because I hear people say it both ways, and I'm like, wait a minute, which one is it? Okay, so I'm going inside my letter like that. You could probably do it the other way too, whatever feels right. I think I want that to be like a little bit, sorry, my head in the way, gosh.
Yes, but that's okay.
Okay, how about now?
We can
Is it
see
better?
on top. Yep, that's much better. Much better.
Okay, so then you can kind of go erase your middle lines if you want, do a little reshaping. It's funny, we all have different things that we enjoy doing, and the things that maybe we have a learning curve on, or things we just straight up don't enjoy doing. And it's been fun to see what things resonate with people. Like there was one person in the group who was like, every time Jesse says making lines is relaxing, I cringe. And so she found a stencil to work on in her background instead of doing that. And so if there's something here that I offer you and you're like, oh, that is not fun, and you've tried it a couple times, then feel free to do your own thing.
Yeah.
So, but if lettering is one of those things that you want to like get better at and you're frustrated, just accept where you are right now and keep working on it. And I kind of like imperfect things, so it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. If we wanted it to be perfect, we could just print out a font, stick it on there. But that handmade feels kind of fun. Okay, I'm feeling good about that.
I think it looks great.
And my original was kind of just rough. Anyway, it wasn't like too crazy. Okay, so we got all good there, and we'll fill that in with white paint in a minute. And we want to get this going. So I'm going to grab my cutting mat. That pile of stuff, I'm going to talk about that in. Remember what I said, Keenan? We're going to talk about that other stuff, or don't let me forget.
I won't let you
I just got excited because I was like, oh yeah, we got that stuff. Okay, got my X-Acto. I need all this printing paper. I got this big old pile. You can't see it on the camera, but, well, you're about to see some of it. Okay. I want this piece right here out of this. And I always include lots of extra things that we don't even use in the projects for you to play around with, because you can remix your prompts and techniques and get even more projects. And it's fun to keep going with all of these supplies. I'm not being precious cutting this, just cutting it. Could easily do this with a pair of scissors. I've just had so much practice with an X-Acto, I feel like I'm faster doing it this way. And that's another thing. If you're still practicing with your cutting skills, it's all good. Okay, so it's feeling nice like that. Just gonna put this right in here. Yeah, right there. That feels right. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this right here kind of looks like washi tape, but it's not.
What?
It is just this pattern of paper that I cut to make it look like it's washi tape.
I thought it was washi tape.
Nope, we did not have washi tape in the box. And you can also do the same thing with this graphite paper. You just cut that and use that like a little bit of tape.
Graph paper.
Did I say graphite?
I said graphite.
We said graphite for the brayer, then we said graphite paper for that. Like, oh my gosh.
Just throw graphite on it.
Yeah, thank you for catching that.
You're all right.
Okay, so just like a little 1/2 inch. So I'm just gonna mark loosely that I'm doing a 1/2 inch, because the width is what helps you get that right, make it feel like that's what it is. Am I still good on where I'm at on the camera here?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm just gonna line up my collage paper onto this that already has lines on it. And I'm going to line up my ruler. So having a cutting mat like this really helps. You kind of line things up that way. So then I can get the width that I want. I'm just gonna eyeball this because why not?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, that's so pretty. Love that.
Nice washi tape alternative.
Thank you. No, this might be a little long. We're gonna see. Yeah, it's a little long for my, I'm gonna bring this back. Trim off a little bit more. Let's see, I'll trim off. I'm just kind of seeing, I'm gonna trim off about that much to get it the width that I had before. That's a good thing about making something once. The second time is easier.
That's true.
And I end up learning something making it the second time, almost every time.
I made brownies twice this year.
This year? I'm looking forward to eating some of those brownies when I get done filming. I hope there's still some left.
Really sorry if there aren't any left.
Are they not?
I don't know. I can't. I mean, we still have a few minutes. So, who knows?
Come on, Keenan. Oh yeah. See, that looks like washi tape. I actually like the texture at the bottom of this. I'm gonna flip this over so I don't
I
hide
love
that
the
photo.
texture of that little paper
Yeah,
piece.
It's fun, huh? Okay, so that's looking good for that. And I'll wait to paste that down. I just wanted to get that ready for us. Now the fun element of this is the bee. And I've already taught you how to do the printmaking with the reverse dots or the positive and negative dots. That's what I'm going to call it. And so you can do that with different colors, have fun. This one I used a little red, a little yellow to make some orange, and a little dab of pink. You can do it however you like. And I already have one printed here. I have some that I printed a little lighter. This is the one that I cut it out of. I did this a couple times and messed around. Another fun thing that you can do is take your bee like this and put it on your plate and then roll paint and use it as a negative.
I love the negatives.
So you can have a lot of fun with these shapes that you're cutting besides just cutting it from paper that you printed. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to grab this guy right here that I printed already, and I'm going to grab my bee shape. And I think I like how that looks. I'm just going to turn them a little bit like that. I'm going to use my graphite paper, the dark shiny side down. This one's been used quite a bit. The one you get in your box is like full size. I just have this sitting around in the studio here. Okay, so I am feeling good.
I like that maple leaf too.
Yeah, so you could do that in the green. We're going to use the bird for our Let's Make Art Matter card later. But you can most definitely put that in your journal as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here. Normally I would tape this down. Oh, I do have tape right here.
Oh, nice.
It's nice if you tape it just so it doesn't slide while you're trying to trace. I'll just do that. Okay, and I'm going to use this pencil. I don't know if it's going to show up while I'm tracing, but you have to trust me. Okay, I have this, but I haven't taped that part underneath down. If your paper wasn't so small, then you could tape it all at the same time. But my paper is smaller than my thing. So just so it doesn't shift while you're trying to trace. All right. Am I good out of the way of the camera?
Yes and no. It's
What can I
just
do to make
enough
it
of
better?
your hair that it's there you go, focus is wrong. But that's good.
Okay, I think that's enough for me to cut it. Oh, what a cute bee. I can't believe it.
What a cute bee.
All right, cut this out. You guys, look at this bee. What? So excited. All right, so now we got to get our yes paste. Oh yeah, it's on there tight.
You seem to have not put any.
I didn't. I keep forgetting until it's hard to open, and then I remember.
You're like, oh.
Okay, we should walk over to the dollar store today and get that.
I actually was thinking about, I want to try cleaning the brim of it first with hand sanitizer
Oh,
to see if that might help. Also want to see what hand sanitizer does to Yes Paste. I'm very curious.
probably will reactivate it if it's dry.
I wonder if it'll clean it off though.
I don't know. Okay, so we're using Yes Paste just on here, like we're putting icing on a cake. I put a little, wow, that was a lot, a glob, and then I just spread it out thin. You are free to use whatever adhesive you like to use, but there are a number of reasons why I like Yes Paste. One of them is that it's slow drying, which I'm usually a girl who's impatient. I want everything to be fast, except when I want to glue something down and I put it in the wrong spot.
Then you're in a hurry to get it out of the wrong spot.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no. So there's that. Okay, so we got this, and you just need a thin amount. You don't need a lot. So even though I put a glob down there, I moved it around quite a bit. Okay, I kind of like this texture at the bottom like this because I think it kind of works out for that bee to settle right into that little negative space like it was supposed to live there forever. So I'm going to put this down just like that. Whoops. See what I mean about the glue?
Good save.
Oh. If it was the other kind of glue, I would have had been committed to that. Okay. And I'm using my pinkies because all my other fingers have glue on them. So, but then I just, you know, rinse them in the paint water. That other cup is really much easier to get my hands in. And then I just get the glue off. I'm going to do that a few times here because I got a lot of things to glue. All right. So next is our faux washi tape. Faux real
washi tape.
I like that Keenan laughs at my jokes.
I'm a hype man.
I have one friend
gift.
that I can know for sure is going to laugh at my jokes. And I just love being with her. My friend Drea, she laughs at my jokes. Oh my gosh, I saw this cartoon yesterday. I laughed way harder than I should have. And this is probably not that funny, but it was a strawberry and he looked like a robber and he said, "Freeze, this is a strawberry." I laughed so hard for that for so long. And I had to send it to my dad because my dad likes dad jokes.
Dad jokes are good.
So if you're ever wanting to share a good pun or a joke with me, I don't ever get tired of them. Okay, so since this bee has a lot of little tiny parts, you want to try to get the glue on there. I'm just going to hold this bee in one spot, and then I'm just going to try to wipe this glue across all of our pieces. And some of these pieces are delicate, so if you cut into them pretty close, it might tear off. That happened to me once when I was trying to do this bee. And I know this bee is probably like on the harder level of things to cut, but it just looks so cool. I thought it's worth it for you to stretch. You can do it. And this bee is something you can trace multiple times so you won't like mess up. You don't have your one shot at it, you know.
That's the beauty of graphite paper.
Yeah, it is. So great. Okay, so I'm just tapping that down, making sure all my legs are sticking to the, okay, that leg, he needs some love. Or she. I guess this could be a girl bee. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how bees work.
I don't know how bees work either. I know there's a queen bee, right?
I know there's honey related to some kinds of bees.
Okay, I saw a teensy bit of glue on there that I don't want to stay on there. So I just wet my paper towel just a little bit and I'm gonna get that off. Because if I let it stay on there and I close my book prematurely, it might stick to my other page and I don't want that to happen. But the nice thing about this glue is that you can
remove it.
Nice. With water. Bookbinders use this glue for things for the same purpose. All right, there we go. Got our bee down. All right.
Cute.
Thanks. I love it. Okay, so finishing touches. We're gonna put some white on our all good, and we're gonna hit a little bit of white here on our bee, maybe a couple other just little details, and we'll be done. And if you don't have white paint, you can use a white Posca pen, or you could use another color for details. I just thought it would be fun to do it, so we're gonna do it. If you have the other pack of paint, you could do pink dots instead of white. I'm gonna do white. And I'm just gonna...
Oh, you're gonna do the dragonfly?
The dragonfly?
I mean the bee. It just, every time I look at it, I think of a dragonfly.
Oh,
I don't know
you like
why.
dragonflies?
I do.
I just like the idea of a couple more dots on here just for fun. Just a couple more. And I like that this top area had a little bit more paint on the place that I cut it out. It's not the one I cut out. You know what I'm saying? There's more color in that spot, and then it kind of dispersed. So when you're looking at your paper that you're going to cut from, that's something that you can think about, like how's this going to look when the shape is out, and how's that going to add to my overall sort of aesthetic, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I think just those couple of dots is nice. And I think it might be nice to have just a little spray of white dots up in here. And maybe just a couple of dots, you know, just there.
Tying it all together.
Yeah, maybe I just want to smear a little white in here just to soften that up a little bit. It's just these finishing touches. Okay, let's put in some white here. Do I need to move this over?
I need you to pull your head back a little bit. There you go. And then bring that down a little.
Right there?
That's good.
So you can do this with a number 8, or you can switch to the number 2 if you have a smaller brush. Ooh, got out of lines there, but it's okay because I like messy.
Did you do multiple coats over the all good?
I think I did. This is looking a little transparent, huh?
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, I think I did. So if you want it to be really white, we'll do another pass. I might have had a lot of water on my brush too. So the more water you use with acrylic, the more transparent it is. The less water you use, the more opaque it is. It just kind of makes this lettering pop out a little. And I'm just getting the paint straight from the pot.
We have some very loud ambient noise lately.
Yeah, it sounds like a refrigerator, but it's not.
It's actually a compressor for an air conditioning unit up on the roof above us.
Oh, because of the new space, now we have new noises down here.
Yep.
Well, that's exciting.
I know.
Oh, I was going to talk about just the benefits of observing nature while we were doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, I didn't talk about that yet, did I?
No, you haven't.
Okay. I think it's neat whenever, as artists, as humans, whatever, to observe. Observing nature is a really great thing because you can be more aware of your surroundings, and I don't know, it makes me more calm and more thankful and aware of myself, of how calm I feel when I'm in nature, and how every time I do it, I want to do it more often because I like how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think anytime that you can observe something and learn something about yourself, it also changes how you interact with others.
I agree.
So when I'm recognizing I'm calm and that being out in nature kind of helps with that, then I'm like, oh. And I kind of notice when I'm not calm, and I'm more aware of my relationships with my kids and my family and my neighbors. And I don't know, I just think observing is a great thing. And we can do that as artists when we're trying to pay attention to detail, and that's a really neat thing to do. Observe.
I agree.
And nature is a great thing to observe. Okay, there's just a couple of spots here where I think it could be brighter. Someone's gonna go back over that. And we're almost done. We're just gonna write our little phrase. While we're doing this, Keenan, can you look up who said this? All good things are wild and free.
Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau? Do I
Thoreau.
say? Huh?
Thoreau.
Thoreau, thank you. I always say that name wrong when I read it.
It's one of those that does that when you read it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that looking white, more opaque now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then I think we're done with those details. Yes, all good.
All good.
Okay, I think I want a couple more dots in here. Just kind of makes me think of like how dewy it was outside the morning I was thinking about making this.
Oh, yeah.
How the water just kind of hits the foliage.
Foliage, yeah.
That was a struggle.
Foliage.
Okay, I'm gonna go switch back to my other brush. These details are just fun, I can't resist it. I'm gonna do that really quick. Just a little white in there, that was a little bit too much. Sometimes I just use my hands to smear because that is just the ticket I need. So, and I've got these dots happening, but then you can kind of copy that same sort of size of dot and distribute another couple of dots in your composition, maybe right in here. And I think we're good on the finishing touches for that. So now we just got our journaling.
Nice. I think we're finished on the finishing touches.
Yep.
But add more.
You know, it's what I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna write the Thoreau quote here. All good things are wild and free. And we did it. We made it.
Beautiful.
We did a few different techniques in this. We did a positive and negative print. We did a sort of a mono print drawing print here. And then we did some collaging and talked about observing nature. And I think we had a good time.
We did have a good
I
time.
hope that you had a good time too. I have one more thing to show you. Thanks, Keenan.
You're welcome.
He's pointing like that pile. We have some more fun things on our website. So if you enjoyed using our smaller plate, you might like to check out these bigger, larger size plates. So if you have a larger art journal and you're looking to cover more surface, we have this 8x10 one available as well as this one. I'm gonna play around with these a little bit on our lanyard.
Those are sweet.
And we have some variety of stencils that you can play with, and these mini printing tools. They are like little combs that you can run through. Could have even done that on what we did today. That would have been fun. So we'll play with those in our lanyard, so you can look forward to that. And I hope that if you go for the wild and free sort of layered look that we did here, that you'll share it with us on our Facebook group and we can see what you made and learn something new from maybe the happy mistakes that you've been doing. We are going to talk about storage in the lanyap. The lanyap is like our little bonus video.
Yeah.
And we'll go over some of those things and do one more printmaking project.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for being here and learning with us. It's just a fun community to be a part of. You can check out our Facebook group with Let's Make Art Journals, and you can hashtag us and the things that you create on Instagram with Let's Make Art Journals. And we'll see you next time. That's all I have for now.